14. This will call the CRA board meeting to order. If we will begin the meeting with an invocation by board member Woodrow Hay, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance led by Vice Mayor Joe Casello. If you'll please rise.
Let us pray. Father, we are grateful for another expression of your love. You have allowed each of us to see another day. We are especially blessed today to have the freedoms that we have in this country. As we reflect back on Friday, July 4th, 2014, we are happy to have celebrated 238 years of independence. We are reminded of all those who have sacrificed for our freedom. Lord, let us not take our freedoms for granted. May we as a nation always remember that our overall freedom was purchased at a very high price. Our freedom cost others their very lives. Lord God Almighty, this evening, we ask that you continue to bless this CRA board of Boynton Beach. Bless our chairman, Jerry Taylor, and all our board members. Bless our staff and others who are serving this great city of Boynton Beach. Father, help each of us to live our lives in a way that glorifies you. Give each of us the strength to be a blessing in someone else's life today. Grant us the opportunity to lead others into the freedom that only can come from knowing you. We thank you. You once again have shown your love. We give you all the honor and praise that you deserve. And all God's people would say, amen. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We're going to have roll call, please.
Here. Here.
Yes.
Here. Thank you.
Did he call my name? Okay.
We'll have agenda approval. Any additions, deletions, or corrections to the agenda?
Can I pull on the consent agenda D, just for a quick comment?
Okay. Got it. Any others? Is there a motion to approve the agenda as amended? Is there a second?
Second.
A motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Show the motion unanimous. Next one is... Let me get my thing up here. Oh, we'll have informational items and disclosures by the board members and the CRA staff. We'll start with Board Member Buchanan.
Nothing to disclose, but I want to comment that was an absolutely fabulous 4th of July fireworks display.
Thank you. Commissioner, Board Member McRae.
Thank you, Chairman. I have nothing to disclose. Sorry,
Board Member Merker.
Yeah. Whoa. Yes, I had I spoke with a gentleman named Ken Stapleton regarding the new business B, and I'm just saying that he was educating me and informing me.
Okay, anything else?
No, thank you.
Mr. Mayor,
yeah.
I too spoke to Mr. Stapleton.
Okay. Board Member Casello.
Nothing to disclose, but also the 4th of July fireworks, outstanding. Another great job by the city of Boynton Beach.
Board Member Fitzpatrick.
Nothing to disclose, but I do have a little comment about last board meeting. Last month, I voted against the 3 CRA purchases primarily because I believe they were overpriced. After some research, I have changed my mind on the Gertman property, which was being bought at a price of over $800,000 per acre. The dollar store property, even with the free CRA land added, was also bought for over $800,000 per acre. I can understand this. Corner lots at an intersection of a high traffic road with a traffic control light command premium prices. If a private for-profit entity pays real money, then that settles the appraisal question for me. The other two properties I still have a problem with, but after a frank discussion with Vivian Brooks, I understand her point of view. As I understand it, she, as a director of the CRA, has a mission to accomplish. There is no longer eminent domain, so the tools she has available are limited and mainly consist of buying. If you do not overpay, nothing happens. This bothers me because it essentially rewards bad behavior. To make things happen and positive change occur, there has to be other tools to help push while the CRA pulls. I believe the city has to support the CRA's efforts through much stronger code enforcement options. If this is done steadily, bad rental owners will come to realize they have essentially three choices. Do nothing and eventually city will foreclose on mounting code enforcement liens. Secondly, do the right thing and invest in the property to bring it up to code. Or three, avoid the hassle and cost of bringing properties up to code by selling to the CRA at market value. From asking around, I get the impression there's never been a sustained, committed effort to get bad landlords to come into compliance. I had a meeting with City Attorney Jim Cheroff and left with the impression there are several legal tools available to the city to strongly encourage bad landlords to get on board. The question is, does the City Commission collectively have the will to back the CRA with strong code enforcement and other tools? Another thing that caused me to vote against the properties was the staff backup. To get an accurate idea of what was going on, I had to closely read the backup. All the information needed was there, but not uniformly presented in the same format for each property. When information is helter-skelter in the backup, I become suspicious and tend to believe that it is intentionally done to hide something. I suggest a rudimentary format for information on land sales. Vivian has something put together in that format, but at our meeting yesterday, before I could look at it closely, lightning struck and we finished the meeting in the dark. It is a work in progress, so I'm sure others can see things that I missed and offer suggestions. That's all.
Thank you. Board Member Hay?
I am also attended the 4th of July, and I'm happy to hear some of the comments that Board Member Fitzpatrick just mentioned, because we do have to look at that particular area a little differently because of the situation that has lingered on for so many years. So I appreciate those comments. That's all.
Staff?
I just wanted to ask Mike Simon to come up briefly and talk about the kickoff meeting today on the Blueway Greenways that does impact the CRA, portions of the CRA, and just give a brief overview of what happened today.
Thank you, Board Chair and Board members. Mike Simon, Assistant Director with the CRA. Just wanted to bring you up to date that we did have our kickoff meeting with Kimley Horn on the Parks plan update. Excuse me, update. There was a lot of staff there: Wally Majors, Carice, myself, Mike Rumpf, and Debbie Coles-DeBay. So we had a lot of input from staff on maps, tying the blueways and greenways together, and it was a very successful first kickoff meeting. I think the folks from Kimley Horn are going to do a great job. The city awarded that project to them, and it's just going well from the very beginning, and they'll be doing agency meetings and meeting with the individual commissioners forthcoming in the next couple weeks. So just want to let you know that happened today.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mike.
Okay, I ditto on what was said about the 4th of July. It was a fantastic show. I think everybody really appreciated it. The only thing I want to mention is we have a young Boy Scout in the front row here tonight. He's here to view the meeting to earn his badge in government, I believe it is. Is that correct? Government badge? Yes. And, pardon? Citizenship badge. Okay, very good. Well, we welcome you here, and we want to encourage you to continue your efforts in scouting. I hope you get a lot out of it, and the best to you. Okay, thank you for being here. Okay, that'll move us to there was one item removed, the consent item, item D, approval commercial construction project incentive program to White Elk Enterprises, LLC. Board Member Casello.
I think the owner is the owner of that property in the audience.
Yeah, there they are.
I've got just a question.
You come forward to the podium. Could you come to the podium? He has a question.
Hi, how are you? My name is Bridget Keller.
Okay. The question I have is I've been going by there quite frequently, and I noticed there's been progress. If we approve these two grants to you, will this help expedite the construction process?
Very much so, yes.
Okay, that's what I need to know. Thank you.
Okay, sure.
Thank you.
Simple as that.
Best of luck. Is there a motion to approve?
Pretty nervous, huh?
Is there a second to approve item D?
Second.
Motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Show the motion is unanimous.
We
That
don't
takes
bite.
us to information only. I'll go down these. If you have a question, stop me. Public comment log, there was no comments. Business development advertising campaign. CRA development project update, Boynton Harbor Marina Harbor Master Building Project. This is in your backup. CRA development project update, parking lot project on Northeast First Avenue, Northeast First Street, and a sidewalk connector located at 208 Northeast First Avenue. Seems to be coming along very well. The CRA budget meeting information was in your packet for when we're going to meet on that.
Mr. Mayor, excuse me.
Yes.
Can we just have can we have that just announced to the public when that budget meeting will take place?
Sure.
For the record.
The budget meeting, they would like to know the date and time for the CRA budget meeting.
The date of the budget meeting for the CRA is Thursday, August 7, 6 p.m. at the Intracoastal Park.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, item F was movies in the park. It was the last movie of this season. It was June 27th. It was a Lego movie. Okay. This time we'll go to public comments. Anybody in the public wish to address the board on items not on the agenda may do so at this time. I ask you to go to the podium and give your name and address for the record.
Bernard Wright, 713 Northwest 2nd Street, Boynton Beach, Florida.
Good evening.
Good evening. How are you doing, Mayor?
Fine.
And I reverence all the board today. God bless you all. I'm here just to voice my concerns again to rehash something I spoke about in the CRA meeting about what's going on in the heart of Boynton regarding y'all building plan. And I'm just concerned about when y'all do build, we having a voice and being some business owners down this corridor. The fact of the matter, I've been living on this corridor for years. I was born and raised there. My great-grandfather built the street. I would not like to wake up one morning and I can't go down there and stand on 10th any time of the day or the night and feel like, you know, I'm just a part of the street. This is a heritage. And I want to be able to have a voice on when y'all get ready to plan on building also the park and expanding it. Right now, Coliseum Park have very small for the children and you know, the things that they play on, very small. All that grass and land not being used, nothing. You took the baseball diamond from us. Baseball has always been a heritage of black folks. We don't have a baseball diamond. I want to speak again about the pool. You took the diving boards from us. It's a toddler's pool. They charge $2 for adults and one for the children. The heart of Boynton children really cannot enjoy that pool, not under the economic circumstances today. Plus the fact that the way it is built, no one cares about even going there. It's toddlers, they bust people in. The heart of Boynton children don't enjoy that. There's no baseball. I mean, our heritage is just being stripped away from us. I'm concerned about that. They have a baseball down at Hester, but that's not the heart of Boynton, considering it. But it hasn't been used in I don't know how many years. I went down to take a look at it. It's in disarray. I got a little son I've been raising for 4 years, great baseball player at 4 years old. I'm a coach at I-9 Sports. I have to take him way out west just to play baseball. I'm just concerned about our heritage here in the heart of Boynton. That's all. When you get around the table to expand Sarah Sims Park, I would like to have someone sitting at the table, not myself, to see what are you going to put there that these children can enjoy. And not someone not living there, not knowing what these African-American children like to do, what they like to play on, what do they like. Unfortunately, no one from not even the board is ever coming down, associating themselves, interacting with these people. It's the underprivileged people down in the heart of Boynton, where I've been living all my life, and I have a home here in Boynton now, 213, and I'm here to stay to eternity. And so I'm concerned about that. I just come from a reunion up in Georgia with my family all the way to the slave owner in the slave house. My great-great-grandfather is the same color you. I met a lot of them, and I mean, it's just been one of the most joyous things. And we do have a historic project in Boynton right now to honor African Americans, my great-grandfather, those who started the building of this town before it was even named Boynton, and, you know, contributed to its growth. I wanted to be honored, and I just want to see some of the people in Boynton who have a concern about that part of Boynton. Not those that living in the suburbs, those that don't live in Boynton, those that don't know what's going on down in that town, that don't have an ear with those people down there. So I'm concerned about that and would like y'all to take this under advisement when y'all get ready to build down in there and doing things in the heart of Boynton, that myself, perhaps even Pastor Lyons there, someone who's been living here, that are natives of Boynton, know what these people need. Even a cultural center. We have a great place for a cultural center that'll connect even the Haitians since they've come here. But people can have something to take pride in. Families can come back together. There'll be a genealogy tree where people will say, oh, that's my family, that's my family. Bring some consolidation and some solidarity to the people of Boynton Beach. And I'm just asking that y'all take these things under advisement.
Let me just address a couple of things you brought up there. We do have a baseball field at the Hester Center, and we have a Little League program that's been going on here for years. In fact, we won the World Series, and everybody in Boynton is, everybody in this city is involved in playing that. And the pool, we spent a lot of money to build that pool and that sim center, and we have not done anything in the heart of Boynton that we haven't had public meetings at the sim center to discuss it with the residents that live there. We've invited them all there. They came out. We've had long discussions. I've been at them at night, and every move we make, we talk. We've had it there at locally, brought the people in and discussed that, and we discuss it openly at these meetings. So I don't understand why you're not getting the word, but the people that live there have been involved, and we're not doing anything that they didn't say, that sounds good to us, let's do it. You know, why you're not getting the information, I don't understand.
Well, Mayor, I can't attempt to negate what you're talking about. When you talk about the community and those people that might have attended that meeting, I don't even know who those people were, you know, because we do have a certain selected people of Boynton that seems to come to these meetings. They really don't have a concern about those people down on the heart of Boynton. What they would like to see them do is just disappear. To God be the glory. And so, you know, I mean, I like to know who those people were. Who was those people when y'all got ready to design that pool? I understand that they was talking about trying to get an old limit pool so y'all can get some type of impact where, you know, bring in some money. But look, I was a diver. I was athletic. I was first string everything. Football, basketball, baseball, diving, and swimming. I was the first quarterback when I integrated school at Boynton Beach Junior High School. I was very athletic. So, you know, when it comes to the athletics, I believe I can touch folks in that area. But I don't know who you're saying, the community, who represent the community of the heart of Boynton. So,
well, I can tell you that I have served here with Board Member McCray for years, and he has done an excellent job on letting us know what's going on in the community and what the people there want. He makes sure that we're informed about that. Board Member Hay does the same thing, but McCray is your city commission representative, and he has done an outstanding job for that district.
Do you know of a swimming pool without a diving boat that is really considered a swim pool? You know, I'm an adult and I still like to swim. I like to dive still. So I can even enjoy a pool. Now, they already have a pool. You know, not only that, in their rate and other areas, when it comes to the needy, the homeless, there's some place they could go inside of that community where they can get some type of assistance. We can open up something through a cultural center, even through a Wells Foundation, where we can get all type of federal and state government, where we have to go in the Lake Worth, we have to go in the dairy to find assistances in areas that, hey, it can be brought right here in Boynton. So I'm just concerned about we having a voice, and that we are the community. Those people that I talk with daily down on those streets, because I still go down on those streets and I still hang down in those streets for a period of time during the day, sometimes when I have the opportunity to do so, to see, I got an ear to the streets, I know what's going on all the time. Whatever's going on in Boynton, I know what's going on. To God be the glory. And so I'm just concerned about that, Mayor.
Oh, I'm glad you're here tonight. You are the voice. You will hear your voice. So that's one of the ways to get the information here. Yes. So thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor.
Yes.
You know, this has been going on some time, you know, and I'm sitting up here, and it's no disrespect to the speaker, but we had meetings in the heart of Boynton. We had them at Sarah Sims, we had at Carolyn Sims, we had them at St. John Missionary Baptist Church. The stakeholders in that area, they came out and they told us what they wanted. Mrs. Brooks has records of those. Those records can be gotten and given to Mr. Wright so that he could read what was stated. We had charts that was put up, and it was drawn out saying this is what we want. And I'm just saying things are not going to happen overnight, but we have been working. The city of Boynton have been working. They wanted to, Mr. Wright, not even give Mr. Denson the name of the pool. I fought for that. They wanted to not even give Carolyn Sim. They just wanted to call it the Wilson Complex. We fought for that. I'm just saying, you know, when people come and they don't have all their facts straight, you need to get with Mrs. Brooks, sir. You need to get with Mrs. Brooks and pull the records with her and read what was done. I'm just saying when we had those meetings. And as far as people not visiting 10th Avenue, I go down 10th Avenue. I hang out with the crowd. I know what you're talking about. I represent District 2. I represent the heart of Boynton. I don't go in and slam my door. I know what's going on. When things come down wrong, they call me. When the meeting was going on, sir, I don't think you was in Boynton. That's why you met him.
No doubt, I wasn't. But
Okay.
but the fact of the matter is, my uncle is the one fought for the pool of Boynton. It became the Dempson pool, that Wilson pool there. My uncle Willie Miller, and we fought for that. But I'm still saying my family's always been involved in activism. But as I said, I would like to be around the table when you start to do some things when it comes down to this heart of Boynton, because this is my heritage.
Sir,
It's my legacy.
Sir, when we start doing things for the city and for the heart of Boynton, we invite you. That's all I can tell you. Nothing will go unnoticed. We'll make sure that you get a notice when we're going to have the meeting, okay?
No doubt about that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your input. Anyone else wish to address the board on issues not on the agenda? Seeing none, we'll move on to the new business. I guess the next item. Item A is consideration of short sale terms for HAP recipients Stephen and Nasha Wright.
Good evening, again, Board Chair and Board members. Mike Simon, Assistant Director with the CRA. The item before you tonight is a consideration from the Homebuyer Assistance Program, Stephen and Nasha Wright, to accept the terms of their short sale negotiations with HSBC Bank. I think it's important to know that the policies that you read about in the cover sheet were approved by the board, the CRA board, on February 12th. All of these, the policies that you see in the back, the list of documents that needed to be required by the applicant were all vetted through the CRA legal counsel at the time and do run similar to the City of Boynton Beach's short sale program and the county's program. So we modeled those policies that we've applied to this item after those. I thought that was an important historical reference for you. On March 11th in 2008, the CRA board approved a homebuyer assistance grant to the Wrights in the amount of $50,000 for the purchase of their home located at 1726 Northeast 6th Street, Unit 1304 in the Preserve, which is located at the corner of Gateway and Federal Highway there. They have applied and worked with the bank for a short sale negotiation, and on June 11th, 2014, HSBC did approve the short sale conditions for their residents on the short sale. So the next group of information there for you is the result of that negotiation as it applies to the CRA. The original purchase price of the property was $239,990. The short sale offer that the bank has approved is for $100,000. The first mortgage amount originally was $186,350. The bank is willing to accept a repayment of $85,063 and 30 cents. The CRA's second mortgage was $50,000 in concert with the and consistent with the policies that the board approved. The CRA repayment amount is $4,000. The item before you is for approval or staff direction.
Is there a discussion or questions? Board Member Casello?
Yes, Mike, the current short sale offer, $100,000. The bank has accepted $85,000. Where does the other $15,000 go?
If you'll look back on...
Maybe we can just shorten it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. There's settlement charges of $6,000. There's broker commissions that work for the bank on the short sales of $8,900, so that's about $9,000. There's $15,000 there, and then the payoff to us is $4,000. So that $15,000 is on. Not sure what you're about. 5 pages back.
We've discontinued a HAP.
Yes, sir.
Loan Pro, right?
Yes, sir.
And out of 19 of those that we've given out, 11 are in some form of foreclosure.
Yes, sir.
We've been kind of rubber stamping these through. And on this particular one here, reading through the backup material, something caught my eye, and I kind of disagree with this. And the gentleman's writing, we are not in a position financially to carry 2 homes, and there is no way our current income that the payment can be made. 2 homes. Why are we getting the short end when this gentleman has income to pay for 2 homes? Or he cannot afford 2 homes, but why are we getting the short end of this?
Well, I think in short, the obligation and reference to this address is the second home, and he's trying to purchase another home to get out of this home.
Oh, he says he already has another home. He can't
Right,
afford
so-
2 HOAs, he can't
Yes,
afford
sir.
2 homes.
So when he sells this, he'll have 1 home.
So why doesn't he sell the other home and keep this home? That's what I'm asking. Why are we getting the short sale?
The rights are here if you'd like to ask them that question.
Sure.
Evening, if you give your name and address for the record, please.
Stephen Wright, and this is my wife, Neasha Wright.
We
Okay,
live at 235 Gazetta Way, West Palm Beach, Florida, 33413.
thank you.
My question is,
Just like-
you live in West Palm now?
Yes.
You own a home, you own a home in West Palm?
Yes.
Yes, we do.
Did you purchase that after you purchased this property here?
Yes, we did.
Okay. So this was your original home here. Then you went out and purchased a second piece of property, correct?
That's correct.
All right, so now you want to unload your first one and live in your second one, correct?
No, it's not really unloading, sir. If
It's
you want
what?
to look at that one, it had drywall, the Chinese drywall. So it actually had disease inside of it, and we couldn't actually live there any longer. It wasn't safe for my wife, it wasn't safe for me, and it wasn't safe for the animals that we had.
But that's been rectified, correct? Drywall problem? So
We had to move out for them to rectify.
But the home is habitable now, right?
Yes.
Okay, so why wouldn't you want, this was your original home, why wouldn't you want to go back to your original home?
One, we wouldn't want to go back to the original home because we've already purchased something that's a single story. Steve's health isn't the best, and so me taking him down a tri-level, it was hard. And no, we didn't know that, well, I didn't know that when we first got married, so it was a lesson learned. I would say that.
No further questions, that's,
Okay.
they'd rather live
Any
somewhere
other-
else, that's fine. That's.
Any other questions?
I have one. I'm just saying, hardships, they befall all of us. And I do sympathize with you all, and I'm glad that you do have another home where you can live safe, with your health and everything, and I'm sorry you had to leave Boynton, but I'm going to be in favor of this.
Is there a motion?
So move.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
No.
All opposed, so the motion
Thank you.
passes 6 to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to 1. Next item is consideration of safety assessment services proposal and contract for Ken Stapleton and Associate for the safety assessment services in the amount of $19,000.
Thank you, Mayor. This is an item that kind of struck me as something that we were missing in all of our branding and marketing. We're going gung-ho with branding and marketing, and I think one of the pieces we're missing is what does the outside world think of Boynton Beach, and what are we missing here? And I do think we're missing something. Well, we have 2 major projects that are not using the name Boynton Beach in them in the downtown area, and while they might not be very candid with us when we ask them, they probably would be more candid with the third-party consultant. And I'm not a big believer in consultants, no offense to you, Ken, but but I think sometimes people are more candid with a third-party person about what their impressions are. The other thing is a lot of times people might have perceptions about a city that it's unsafe, but the reality is, in truth, that it is safe, but maybe it appears unsafe due to lighting or lack of lighting or other issues. And so he's going to, if you guys accept this tonight, if the board accepts this, we'll look at some of those things for us, the paths that people will travel, mostly on the weekdays, weeknights, weekends, weekend nights. And how does that feel? How does it feel safe, and why doesn't it feel safe? And then look at our crime stats, and if our crime stats are healthy and good and they're not bad, then it's really more maybe some physical issues that need some tweaking. And then we can address those through the budget and year over year. And that's really what I'm looking for. And also he'll go out and look at and speak to our stakeholders, people who have put money in, people who haven't put money in the city. Why haven't they? Why haven't you invested in Boynton, and why are you investing in Boca or Delray versus Boynton? And, those are the kind of questions I think we need the answers to, candidly.
Okay, let me start. I guess I'm just kind of cool to understand why we'd want to pay $20,000 for somebody to come out and talk to people that we can talk to. If you have somebody, I think you mentioned Seabourn Cove to me, that doesn't use Boynton Beach in their advertisement, why you couldn't go talk to him and ask him why not, and he wouldn't. You sound like you're saying he wouldn't tell you. Well, I'd be glad to meet with him and ask him, and I think he'd tell me. I haven't had this kind of feedback. I haven't had the fact that we're unsafe, a city that's unsafe. I walk around downtown at night. I'm not afraid to walk around downtown there. I walk down early in the morning, and I just don't. For me, that's a lot of money, $19,000 to somebody to come in and talk to somebody else that I can talk to, and ask these kind of questions. And where this is coming from, that there's some kind of people that want to come for unsafe environment. I mean, they're not using Boynton Beach in their advertising. They're a very successful development. I think it's one of the prides of Boynton Beach, that development down there. So I'm just have some real questions on why we'd want to go this route. That's where I'm at.
That's right.
Mr.
That's right. No, that's right.
Mr. Casella? Board Member Casella?
Yeah, as far as crime statistics, we had a police chief that he's statistic crazy. He can give us all the statistics we want. We just voted the 4th best beach community in the country. So I don't think the perception of Boynton Beach is a bad place to come to. Now, I think it's incumbent upon our leaders in the CRA and the city, on the city side, to sell us. That's what we market. We have a marketing budget for that. I don't think we've got to pay somebody to $19,000, almost $20,000 to tell us. It doesn't take a survey to do that. Just ride around downtown and see why people are not right. We got empty storefronts. We got no pedestrian people down here because we don't have anybody living downtown. That's some of the reason why we don't have this. I'm with the mayor on this. I don't think we got to pay $20,000. Our closet here in City Hall is full of consultants, of surveys, all dusty up there in the closet. Enough of that. We know what we need. We've talked about in many of our weekly meetings what we're trying to accomplish, what we need, what our shortcomings are, what our strengths are. I don't think we need somebody from the outside coming in to tell us, any other that what we already don't know.
Yeah, Board Member Hay.
I would like the executive director, if she could, hopefully have some case studies on this particular individual and what he or she has been able to do in the past, and how did it help that particular city to help me to get a better view, because I understand what the mayor and the other board member, Casella, was saying, but can you share with us some information on him?
Mr. Stapleton's here if you want him to come up and speak about what he's done. He's doing it in Riviera Beach right now. He's done it in other cities, Cleveland. Mr. Stapleton, do you want to step to the...
Can we get our questions from up here first before we call him?
Okay.
I'm just saying, because I'm still not clear either. There's some questions I need to ask.
Okay. But eventually, I would like to hear from him.
We will hear from him. I'm with you.
Board Member Hay. Board Member McCray.
Oh, God, we didn't start favoring?
I just finished with him.
Thank you. I need to ask you, Chair, not the chair, I need to ask Vivian, don't we have a marketing person in the CRA?
We are marketing. We are marketing heavily.
How much are we spending heavily?
We spend our marketing budget proposed for next year. which is marketing our existing businesses, and marketing the area is 120 for next year.
$120,000 plus another 19, that's $139,000. That's the figure I need
But
to
this
get.
is not a marketing
I
plan.
understand, but it's a part of it's a component, you know. I'm just saying, I'm getting my figures straight over here, okay? Thank you.
Marker, Board Member Marker.
Thank you. Pardon me. Vivian Brooks used the word perception. Whether or not it's true or false, the word perception is a very important word as far as for developers looking at a place to develop. It's also important in the real estate market because the realtors are trying to sell the property or develop the property. To me, the word safety is also that important, again, under the word perception. If a city is perceived not to be safe, then developers, realtors, business owners are hesitant coming into a city. I look at this opportunity with this gentleman who I spoke to today as an investment. I think that we want to move forward. I think everybody up here on the commission is on the same page. We've invested in so many different other issues that to me this is like the ceiling, this is the conclusion. To come out with the report saying that Boynton Beach, tonight I heard the word Boca and I heard saying how wonderful, or Del Rey is wonderful. I'd like that also in the paper saying that Boynton Beach is safe, secure. We as the commission, we're one-sided sometimes. Why? Because we're up here and we're trying to do our best, but that doesn't mean the best always happens. So I look at this, and I enjoyed speaking with you, Ken, today, that this is a smart, quote-unquote, investment for the city with a positive response in which, again, I'm repeating, I'm sorry, the realtors, the developers, the investors will hear this, read this, and say, I'd like to look into Boynton Beach a little more.
Board Member Buchanan.
Yes, I consider this to be an important issue. You have to look at the warts on a frog's butt before you kiss it and call it a princess. And I think that's what this study can do, is look at those areas where there are deficiencies. I looked carefully at his work in there, and that's a lot of stuff for that, I think, for that amount of money. A lot of surveying is going to do, a lot of physical observation, and when you're talking about safety and security, a lot of times it's small areas, small things that you don't consider, don't see. Different people see different things. Probably cops see things different that other people might see. The man's in this business and would also see those deficiencies. I looked at some of the cities worked for and things like that with favorable results. And I just think it's one of those things we need to take that close look. It's not the overall thing. Oh yes, we want this, we want that. But this is down to a nuts and bolts thing. It's beyond what Joe is saying. And it's beyond talking to one or two people or whatever. I think there's a whole lot of stuff in here. And I think that it may or may not. I mean, there are areas that may shine, or areas, problems that will show up, that we need to address those problems if they are there, and we won't know it until we have somebody really take a close look at it, and also be able to pull this information together, put it in a report that we can all read and understand and be within the sunshine law and all those kind of things. So I think this is a relatively small amount of money. Matter of fact, I saw the amount of work he's willing to do for $19,000, and I didn't think he's going to make much money out of it on a per hour basis, but that's my opinion on it.
Mr. Fitzpatrick, did you want to comment?
Sure. I'm not opposed to consultants per se. It's hard sometimes to tell the difference between dazzling brilliance and baffling something. So I would like to, if my vote now would be to table it for a month and get some of these past reports like Cleveland and South Beach and Hollywood and have us, have a chance for us to look them over, because I like to see what some of the past performances are.
You making a motion to table?
Well, I will
Is that a
after
motion?
comments.
I'll
Not yet.
second.
Okay, well, wait a minute.
Is there any other
We'll let somebody in the public make a comment.
Thank you. David Katz, 67 Midwood Lane, Our Safe City. I kind of agree with Ms. Brooks, consultants, not so much. Anything that's held downtown at night is well attended and with very little police presence, and there's never, to my knowledge, ever been an incident, at least it's never been reported in the paper. I agree with Commissioner Casello that once projects come, residential projects, it'll be, in theory, much safer, and it's not unsafe now. The one thing that's well advertised, which is the Pirates Fest, draws 5,000-6,000 people, and they're not all from Boynton Beach. Now, regrettably, of course, that doesn't go into the night because it gets dark for some reason, and they don't go into the night. I'm sure this gentleman's company is top drawer and does good work, but to compare studies that were done in Cleveland or in South Beach or in Hollywood, which are totally different from what we have downtown, is crazy. And I think this $19,000, and no disrespect to you, Mr. Stapleton, should be spent to beautify a median somewhere or plant some trees, not to be spent on another consultant to tell us whether our city is or the downtown is safe, because basically it is safe. After meetings, people go out to Hurricane Alley and to other restaurants, Banana Boat, and regrettably, we don't have the area to walk like Lake Worth does on Lake Avenue or Lucerne. We don't have Atlantic Avenue. We don't have Clematis, and we don't have City Place in terms of size and ability to walk. But what we do have, in my humble opinion, as a resident since 1982 downtown, is safe, and we don't need to be told one way or the other. It is safe. Thank you.
I just want to reiterate that we're not talking about whether he will look at police stats and he'll look at where crime is occurring, but it's not about whether it's safe or not. It's about whether people perceive it to be safe, and why don't they? If they don't, why? And it may be just physical things like lighting, shadows. How do we mitigate that? That's all it could be. It's not whether the city is safe or not. It's how people perceive it. And that's really what the crux of it is. In other cities, they had the same problem of a perception that wasn't true either. But the economic study that was done recently, the number one issue that people perceived as a problem in the city was crime. They perceived that, and that's what people said. So if people said that, that doesn't mean it's true. And what we want to kind of tease out of this is, okay, why do you think that? And then we want to kind of tailor our marketing and branding to address that. That's all this is about. We're going out with our marketing and branding, but kind of in the dark, not recognizing kind of what people already think about us. And that's the problem, in my opinion.
Where are you saying that they're saying there's a perception that it's unsafe?
This was done by the Economic Development Department when they had a stakeholder survey. And the number one issue that was cited by the people, it was realtors and business owners, crime level, and then lack of vibrant downtown. Those two things were cited as the top two.
What was the second one? Lack
of vibrant downtown.
Lack of vibrant downtown. Well, we don't really have a vibrant downtown yet.
Right.
And I talk to a lot of people, and I'm not hearing that they have perception that it's unsafe. So I don't know where that's coming from. That's not what I'm getting back. And go ahead.
Okay. I'll use the word naivety. We all have perceptions. We all have feelings on where our city is going. From the time that former Mayor Woodrow Hay took over to the present mayor, Jerry Taylor, personally, I heard image is so important. Well, part of image is safety. Mayor Taylor says one thing, I'm saying something else, other commissioners are saying something else. Who's right? to me, that's why you do a report, just like we did a report when we wanted to investigate the police to correct things. So I'm saying this is not $100,000 or even $50,000 to prove to the people, both in the papers and anywhere else, that this is a wonderful city to buy, live. Safety is a key element, and I'd love to see in the papers, Boynton Beach, #1 in safety. So since it is an issue, and since we do invest in trying to build up Boynton Beach, I think this is just an add-on, an asset to the definition of Boynton Beach, that it's one of the safest cities, and I'd like to see that written also.
Board Member McCray.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. You know, in regards to crime is perceived in, our city, crime is perceived now in every city. It is a problem in every city. I work out of Broward County, and there's not one city that I could say, where they say crime is not one of the #1 factors, that they are perceiving as one of the problems. So I don't want to say even get pushed that way, because Boynton is not the Lone Ranger. All of us have, all the cities. If you say, what is the #1 problem? Crime. TV on crime. Everything is crime this, crime that, So I could listen to Mr. Stapleton, but I'm just saying, when we got somebody, we're paying $120,000 plus another $19,000, $139,000 for somebody to tell me that, my city isn't safe. It sounds kind of unfair, I live here. That's one reason it's safe, because I stay here. Okay?
Mr. Buchanan.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like Commissioner Fitzpatrick's idea of tabling it and getting copies of the reports to review, so we can see exactly kind of work product that you can expect from this type of endeavor.
Did you want to let Mr. Stapleton talk before we make a motion to table?
I would like to hear him since he's here.
Okay.
Okay.
Mr.
And then-
Stapleton?
I got the tough seat tonight, didn't I?
Oh, no, that Boy Scout has the
Right.
tough
Oh, he's
seat.
got the tough
He's
seat.
watching you.
First, let me just thank you for considering the proposal that you have in front of you from us. I want to be very clear. We're not here to judge whether or not your city is safe. That's not what the proposal is all about. It is about whether or not you want to take the first step in figuring out how to manage perceptions of safety that impact buying patterns and investment patterns and use patterns. How much people walk around in a place often is determined by how safe they feel. What we're suggesting to you is the first step in this is, as someone stated earlier, to get clear about whether there's even a problem. And so, Mr. Mayor, you indicated that your sense of things was different than what the survey said, right? And so that was what I was told, is that there were differing opinions here yet about whether or not you really have an issue. Is the perception of safety or lack of safety impacting whether or not people visit, whether or not realtors promote your downtown, whether or not business people come in and open businesses and fill those storefronts, and whether or not developers come in and build more housing, which is kind of creates that virtuous cycle. What we're suggesting to you is that we come in and help you take the pulse of that as an initial step. And what we know is part of that is reviewing the surveys you've already done. Part of that is talking to people face to face, because so many people, and this is proven study after study, have difficulty admitting when there's a safety issue, right? Talking to different groups of people, because different groups of people find places more or less safe. And one of the things that we tell all of our clients is that most retail spending happens after 6 p.m. and 80% of retail spending is driven by women, and that women as a target market have a very different perception of places' safety than men do, right? And so what we want to help you tease out is whether or not that's an issue for you here. Frankly, you're not like most of my clients. Most of my clients already know they've got a big problem, that there is absolutely a safety perception issue. Riviera Beach, when I worked with them, said, absolutely, Ken, we've improved our safety amazingly, and they had. Their numbers proved it. But the perception lingered. when I worked in Cleveland, when I worked in downtown Miami, when I worked in Hollywood even, we had perception issues. And so we had to figure out ways to get after that. But the first thing that we advise our clients to do is understand what is really going on, understand what the perception is. So downtown West Palm Beach, for example, does a survey every year or every 2 years. And they have a very careful set of questions that they use to say, are we safe enough? That's really the question. Are we safe enough, or are you avoiding coming here because you don't feel safe enough? So that's the question we're trying to help you answer.
Yes.
These perceptions, who are these people that you're going to get these perceptions from? What groups of people you're talking to, and why couldn't our own staff, if this is such a problem, why isn't our own staff out there getting these perceptions?
I can't answer for your own staff, honestly, but I will tell you in my experience, most municipal staffs and even CRA staffs are pretty overwhelmed with the work that they have. It's part of the reason that you have people come in and help you out. And they aren't necessarily as versed in how you go out and read what the real perceptions are. It's a tricky business. Most surveys that ask you about safety are poorly done. Even the national survey that's done, that says, do you feel safe walking alone by yourself at night in your neighborhood, only asks you about your own neighborhood. It doesn't ask you about your downtown. It doesn't ask you or evaluate for you whether or not you're the person that makes the decision whether or not, in your household, whether or not to go downtown for dinner. Usually it's the female member of the household. And so drilling down into those details is critically important. If your marketing is going to be targeted to a particular group, you have to understand what that particular group thinks about your place. And they create that perception, or that perception gets created based on what they hear from their friends, what they hear in the media, what they see when they drive down the street, a personal experience that they may have had, where they grew up. All those different kinds of things come into play. If you don't go in and ask that question very carefully, you will get bad information that will lead you to, frankly, waste more money on your marketing.
So how many people do you actually reach out to get the survey right? Is it 100 people, 500, 1,000? How many people do you actually survey?
If you're going to do a full survey, really you want to get to 2,000 people, not just the people that are in Boynton Beach. But we're not suggesting that we're going to do a survey for you right now. We're going to look at the surveys you've already done and understand what they're telling you. More importantly, and I will tell you this, surveys they're like sledgehammers when it comes to safety. The focus group that we're suggesting for you, and the focus group we're suggesting is of realtors. That is where you can drill down and understand what's happening in the marketplace. It's a very critical aspect of the work.
We just had a charrette with realtors, right? We invited them all. We had a little party we had, 13, 15 realtors come in? Those kind of questions could have been asked at that type of thing. The other thing, just getting back to what you said a little earlier, so you take a survey of our surveys? Is that what?
I review anything that's been done for you in the past, yes.
Okay, so then you're going to go out into the street and ask the person out there in the street what they think or what their perception of Boynton Beach?
There is a group of key stakeholders that I will interview, yes.
Who are they?
There's a list in the proposal. I don't have names. We've identified them as categories of people. But they are municipal leaders, business leaders, residents, a variety of folks, the police chief, of course, some of the police staff, the CRA staff, other city staff.
Wouldn't this kind of a survey be more focused on the person out there in the street? That's the perception we're trying to get. I mean, you talk to the police chief or any kind of staff or department heads, they're going to tell you everything's wonderful, no?
I don't ask simple questions, and I do ask insightful questions. And so, yes, if I only asked a simple question, is everything good, is it all safe, you may be right that I would get a very simple answer that said, yeah, it's all good, Ken. No problem, no problems here. But I'm here because there was a survey done, and that survey indicated that there might be a problem. I wouldn't even say that the survey indicated there is a problem. But that was why I even reached out to your staff.
So our survey is going to be part of your survey.
It's not part of my survey. It is part of the review that I will do for you.
Review.
Yes.
Okay, so it's not a survey you're doing a review.
There's a whole series of tasks in here, including that review, including the field work, including the interviews, and including the focus group.
Thank you.
Great. Board Member Craig.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. First of all, we are working together downtown. We don't have a downtown, okay? And for as it said that, West Palm Beach, City Place, they just had crime up there, the garage, etc. But, Mr. Chair, I think that this is too soon for us to keep hashing this out tonight. If you want to get us some more information, I'm going to offer a motion that this be tabled until we get more information.
I have a motion to table. Is there a second? Motion second. Discussion.
I do have another question I wanted to ask them before we voted on it.
Go ahead and ask the question, then we're going to vote.
Okay.
Once there's a motion to table.
I want to ask you, what other cities other than West Palm and I think say Riviera Beach? And then how long would it take you to do this survey or whatever you're going to be doing?
We have done this work in probably 10 other cities, but it's not exactly this work. I want to be very clear about that. We customize every effort. Riviera Beach basically didn't ask us to come in and figure out whether or not they had a perception problem. They knew that. They asked us to come in and say, how do we fix it? Right? Because they were already saying they had that. When I was in downtown Cleveland, I was actually the staff member in charge of improving safety perceptions, dealing with our panhandling issues, so that and our car theft issues and our car break-in issues and lots of other issues that you don't have, quite honestly. But we also had to manage perceptions because we were trying to get that housing, that virtuous housing cycle going, and we were able to do that. Not every one of these places where I've worked is there a report that's going to look like the report that you get. In fact, there isn't another report that's going to look like the report you get because it's a different kind of assessment than we've done exactly for other places. We always look at the perception and what is being measured and what has been measured. But in this instance, that's what we're drilling down into because it's still a question that's unanswered for you.
Thank you. Ask the attorney. No, wait a minute. I have a motion to table. I believe the attorney, that cuts off all discussion until you vote on that.
It does.
Yes, I have a motion and a second to table. All in favor of tabling?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Show the motion unanimous. Thank you. Okay, that takes us to Executive Director's report.
Point of information.
Yes.
Is it a definite table? Like, do we have a date?
It wasn't part of the motion. I just tabled it.
Can we set a date for that?
Not until we start getting reports back to be determined. I'm just saying.
I'll forward them to you and I get you.
We only meet once a month, so I would think a month would be long enough. We could address this at the next meeting.
Right. My whole take is that, it's the gentleman that's getting us information is how fast he get it back to us. That's something that he's trying to sell to us.
Just on what Board Member McCray had said a little earlier, I think we're putting the horse before the cart before the horse here. I think that, we got a Treasure Coast report coming back very shortly about our downtown, what it's going to be perceived of. I think once we get something in place and we actually start acting on it, and then we can get some surveys done or reviews done.
Mayor. Yes, we're not supposed to discuss it anymore, so.
We're tabled.
Yeah, well, go ahead.
Okay.
Say something.
I think we're being naive. I think we're not looking in the mirror. With all these reports that are coming in, this is an obvious piece of importance. It's called safety. So if you want a plan to build, you need safety. You have to make sure what's ever built is being built properly, and what we are experiencing or not experiencing is, to me, logical. All the issues that we deal with the fire and all the issues we deal with the police, what's the main word that comes out? Safety in Boynton Beach. So it seems like for some reason we don't want to look in the mirror and possibly see that there could be an issue.
All right, we're through discussing it.
Mayor,
Executive Director.
from procedurally, so you know how to proceed, since the motion did not include a specific date.
Right.
It would not be taken up again until there was a motion to take the matter off the table. I would suggest that if staff feels that they have all the information, as they've gotten it to you and they have all the information where they feel it's ready to be discussed next month, they can put it on the agenda, but it will not go forward until someone moves to take the matter off the table to discuss it.
Very good.
Okay.
Thank you.
That answers my question.
Okay. Item A, the Executive Director's report was new business CRA district. Any questions on that? Item B was property acquisition report. Is in your backup. Any questions?
I just want to let you know that, 'cause I don't know how many of you got a chance to read this today.
Talk a little louder, please.
I'm sorry. I want to yell into this. There were 6 properties that we actually looked at purchasing that we negotiated for, but the prices were far in excess of the appraised value, so they were not brought before you to
I
for
read
your
that in the
consideration.
backup, yeah.
Okay.
Development projects update. Any questions on that? Okay. Nothing else to be brought for the board. Commissioner Board Member Fitzpatrick.
I'd just like this board to give permission to the CRA staff. There's a house that's being bulldozed at 918 Southeast 4th Street to make room for the Women's Circle enlargement. And it's a 1920 something, and they say they can't find anybody to move it. And I know the CRA's moved in stuff in the past, like this is a real cottage. So I was just going to ask if Vivian, if she wants to look at it to see if it's even worth moving or not. If not, I'm going to put a bid on some of the Pecky cypress for salvage.
Okay, yeah. I don't have a problem. If she wants to take a look and see if it's something we'd want to salvage.
Here, do you want me to pass it down so you can see the picture?
That's the Women's Circle, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you want to look at that, bring it back to the board, see if it's worth anything we want to do.
Yeah, I'll have to
I'm going to
Yeah.
meet with those people Monday.
Okay.
contractor look at it.
All right. Nothing else? We stand adjourned.
Frames.